Welcome to your home practice of yoga for menopause and perimenopause. Keep in mind that during perimenopause, it may be end menopause, it may be very challenging to do yoga or to practice any type of movement because of the way you're feeling, which is generally the biggest complaint that I experience from women during perimenopause and menopause in my yoga studio is exhaustion and just overall fatigue and irritability. And those are the times that you absolutely don't want to be in your body and the times that you absolutely need to be in your body. So I just wanted to grant that to you, that you may not feel like doing this, doing your yoga practice, and it takes adamant courage to still do it, to still get on this laboratory of the mat. So remember, as the estrogen lowers, then you really have to take care of bone health. And so doing exercise and movement is extremely important. The other thing is your mood will change. You think there might be a time where it's, again, so irritable, or you're getting angry by all the changes that feel so foreign in your body. So you really want to make sure that as the estrogen lowers, you do things to keep your mood up. And exercise is the highest order when it comes to mood. And this has been proven again. It's like taking an antidepressant, only no side effects. So please get on the mat. The other thing is as the testosterone, first of all, progesterone disappears because there's no more cycles at menopause. But at the beginning, as you're moving from perimenopause into menopause, the progesterone and estrogen are like in a tug of war, and you can feel extra crazy. So that's why you really want to get onto the mat. And then the testosterone lowers, and that reduces your ability to sleep, to keep muscle tone, mood, again, of course, sexual libido, so you might not feel the same prowess and feel as much in your body. These are all great reasons to do yoga, and also great reasons why you won't do it. So please have the courage to still get on the mat when you least feel like it, because that's when we most need it. So let's go right into the poses that I would advise. The first one, the only thing you'll need is a couple of pillows. I've selected like couch pillows here as opposed to the bolster, which I would normally use in the studio, because most people will have that. This is a meditation pillow. And I'm going to put them off to the side for now. And let's go right into the first pose, which is forward fold. So you want to take the legs in front and see if you can have the bum bones come back, so you can really be at the front of the bum bones. And then you lift and lengthen. And if I go too fast, just pause the video to stay in your pose, because I want to get straight to the points of each mechanics. So in forward fold, you lift from the low back. We're not attempting to round down, but it's more of a hinge up from the low back that can be really challenging. So you can always use the hands beside the hips and press down into the earth. Draw the toes back, and if it's really challenging to get forward, I highly recommend bending. Let's draw the left knee in and taking it in, so you're like so, and you're bringing the foot to the inside thigh, and then take anything, a towel, a cloth, an old man's tie. They don't have to be old, but just take their tie, and lift from the rib cage. I'm just cracking you up. And lift from the rib cage and see if you can keep the shoulders down. Extend up, so you'll find that this leverage is like a row pulling you up from your low back, and I find that super helpful. Make sure the grip is just enough so you're not using any clenching, and rise from the rib cage and extend forward. The heel reaches out and you're pulling up and lengthening forward. Now I'm going to switch quickly because again I want to just go through the mechanics. So you might take the other right leg up, or you might be able to be that person that is able to have the legs straight. And then you're holding on pretty low, pull the shoulders down, lift from the rib cage, extend forward to whatever leverage you can get. This is great because you'll still get that opening through the backs of the knees. So that will help with lengthening the hamstrings, the hips. It will help to draw the hips into the socket if you really pull up in here through the low core, and lengthen the low back. And this is very good for helping with sleep. Okay, so any kind of forward fold helps the relaxation side, so the parasympathetic nervous system, come online more, and you will help your body to lengthen and relax in the low back. So anything that's a forward bend is brilliant during menopause or perimenopause. to help with sleep. So there's your forward fold. And then the next one we do is a spinal twist. So you come down, you can take your hands behind, lower down, take the shoulder blades under so that the neck is really free, make sure the neck is long. And then you would take your right knee up, always your right knee first, draw the right knee up and you squeeze it in, the elbows bend to draw the leg in. And your gaze is just to the ceiling, no need to tuck the chin. And then you take the left hand on the outside of the right knee. The right arm is out to the side, and you're going to twist to the left, drawing that knee across. So here again is where you can pause the video. I just want to demonstrate all the poses. And then you breathe in, and you hug that knee in one more time. Release the right leg down. Draw the left leg in. Hug in. Let the elbows bend to pull you in. Inhale. Exhale. Tip to the right. Take that, oh, I got a nice click there, a nice opening through the hip. Take that left arm out to the side, very sexy, and let the weight of the head be down. Pull that knee across. It's at about the same height as the hip as you come across. And then you come back. And then from there, you can roll to one side to come up, or if you're feeling energetic, roll right up to seated. And then the next one is called reclining bound angle pose. Actually, yeah, let's do that one first. So I mentioned that you can use pillows. Now, if you are a real yogini, it's yogini, by the way, for female, yogini, just not a yogi, that's a guy, is just use like a couple of couch pillows, and you come back and you take the feet in front and the soles of the feet together. And this is referred to as reclining bound angle pose. And you come back and you have your low back right against the pillows. Now, I'm going to show the extreme sport of opening like so and coming back because my body really likes this one. Now, if you have like a normal person that is not able to open that much, then you would have, as you can see, I don't have a camera person. This is a low budget video. You're going to have support for the neck. Now, you can have the chin in, so you could have the head a little higher, or if it's great through their neck, and I find all my students prefer this, they have the head back just a little lower than the rib cage, and that really helps to stimulate and open up the vagus nerve, which also helps with relaxation. The arms are out to the side, soles of the feet together. You're letting the tailbone press down, and you're releasing the arms entirely. Now, another way to do this, and again, just pause the video as needed, because I want to show you guys everything really speedily, is to lie down, have the soles of the feet together, take the arms overhead. I'm using my elbows. That might be too much for people's it might cause an impingement in their shoulders. So if it does, please take the arms out, just palms up to the ceiling, finger to finger, middle finger, and take the arms over. Soles of the feet are together. Get the shoulder blades under, and then there is that option to take the hands to the outside elbows, okay? And then that really opens the lungs, opens the chest, opens the upper respiratory tract, also expands that top third of the lungs that we never expand. So it increases the depth of the breath, which if practiced over time could create a reduced respiratory rate because your breathing is fuller. So this is a really great one to relax. And if it's too much for the arms, you would have your person have the arms right out to the side. Okay, or you being the person. So then the next pose that is really nice is quite extreme. And so I realize I am showing some extreme poses. I will demonstrate on the bolster, but again, just for ease, you could have just a couple of couch pillows, like you could stack 4, 2 and 2, and then you come and you take the knees together. You're kneeling back, full kneel, and then you lie back, open the chest, take the arms out to the side, go into your breathing. It's brilliant. It's a wonderful opening up in here. good for strengthening the lower back, increasing the amount of breath. The diaphragm is nicely open, so you might increase your respiratory volume, and the arms are rested to the side. Now, one thing I often do is I'll have my students take the arms up, take the arms over. I'm grabbing. You can interlace, take the hands out if their shoulders are willing. Honestly, I find about 60% of my female students can't do this because of impingement, frozen shoulder, arthralgia, arthritis. I can't even begin to tell you how many women have problems in the upper shoulder. So think anterior deltoid, the cap of the shoulder. So that's where you would have them keep their arms just a little lower than the shoulder so that they can relax the pectoral muscle. Shoulder blades are under. And then if that's just crazy too much, then what you would do is have another bolster and have them on an incline. So you would take the bolster across, or couch pose, and then have them on an incline, and then coming back down again, lowering all the way down, full kneel. Knees get to close, great for the joints. And then coming back, arms rest to the side, shoulder blades under, so chest and rib cage are open, and just get the tailbone to drop. And if that's too much, then you have them have their knees up. And that will be doable for everybody. And they could draw the tailbone, pubic bone, pelvic floor down a bit more by having the soles of the feet together. So that's another option. And the arms are out to the side. Okay, so that is the reclining hero pose. You know, it's so funny, hero pose, well, it's not that funny, but hero pose is simply this. It's kneeling. And this is something that we can lose over time because the knees can't fully open, or we get tension in the fascia through the top of the feet, shins, especially people that run a lot or do a lot of rollerblading, things with boots like cross-country skiing. And again, because the myofascia is really affected during perimenopause and menopause, it's really important to keep up the mobility in the joints. So speaking of that, if somebody is really tight through the low back and they want to work on the forward bend, again, I have no camera person, so here I am just doing everything. You would take a chair, and this is kind of cool. Now, again, the bolster's here, so it's handy. And you know what? I would actually have them, yeah, I'll show you this way. I'd have them bind one leg in and then come forward and just have the forehead on a pillow or the bolster. So here I would have 2 couch pillows if you didn't have a big fat bolster, and you're releasing into the forehead. You might even be able to come back more and then come forward and just resting here. This is extremely restorative. It's a really nice pose. You're keeping the length, and as you get more flexible, you tip more, and you're a bird on a cup, and you just fall forward, and the shoulders are free, okay? So you're pulling, you're really lifting from the low back. So that's another way to do it. I'll just show you. So I had one leg in. You could certainly do a narrow straddle and come forward. And that will be a nice tiny stretch on the inner thighs, unless they go for it and they come into a wider angle, which you could do. And then on that note, coming into a wider angle, one thing that really helps, I found was extremely excellent for hot flashes, is to come into shoulder stand. Now, shoulder stand might be beyond the capacity of your students. So let me just show you shoulder stand. So shoulder stand is done with taking the legs up in the air. Now, I have really small hips, so my bum goes up like whee right away. For others, it might be really challenging. So this is where I help them come up. Here's a good way. So if you have a voluptuous client who has really wide hips, this is what I suggest. Hands pressed down, and then they catch their bum. So the head is back, you're gazing to the ceiling, so cervical spine is open. Breathe in, kick the legs over, if that's okay. Catch the bum, and then I'm going fast to show you. And then walk the elbows in as you lift and lengthen and press the knees together. You can see I'm pressing the head back so that I have a nice open neck. So I'm not tucking my chin, the head is back, and that keeps the esophagus open. You're pressing your hands into the low back. You're pressing the knees together for the legs to come up. And if this is too much, it's just too much, they're not going to get that high, have them cup down. So they'll hold on to the base of the hip bones and keep the head back. So you can see I've got a longer spine, and that usually makes it a bit easier. If someone's hands get tired, like they just can't do it, then you would have them take the bolster under. So this I find to be really helpful for students, is I'll have them take the bolster under, and then take that, or again, if it was couch pillows, I'd use 2 couch pillows, and you can always tie them together and just keep that on hand, and then take the legs up. This is really nice. And this might be a lot more humane for your students. It might be the answer. So that would be there. Or legs up the wall, which is another way, and I'll send you a video on that. So there's your lift, and then you would just bend the knees and come down and release. And then the last pose that I would suggest, and remember this one helps with thyroid, parathyroid, hot endocrine system, hot flashes. When I very first started menopause, I got hot flashes, and I did shoulder stand, and I never had another hot flash. So I did it on a regular basis. Now that's me, because I'm a yogini, so I use yoga like medicine. And that's what I'm trying to provoke here. Yeah, so then the last one, I think I need to lift the camera, hold on. Again, no camera person, just me doing everything. Let me just get the chair, and not using the tripod today. Okay, let me just lower it down a little bit here. So you're going to see mostly my upper body, and that's okay. You won't see the legs so much. Yeah, so the next is to take the legs wide into a straddle. And this is a forward fold, and it's called Prasarita Padadota, forget it. It's a forward fold. So you're going to take your hands to your waist. Really feel long, pull up through the thigh muscles, breathe in, exhale, fold forward. And just take the hands, just like kind of a downward dog, and tip the bum bones up, and then fall. And you're pulling the bum bones up and just pressing into the hands towards the finger side. So I'm going to show you this from the side, because I think that'll really help to see. So I'm keeping the knees from locking, not locking. Tipping forward right from the tailbone, taking the hands in line with the feet or in front, because that's what they've got, or in it, so if you can be in line with the feet. Your legs are one of your leg lengths and a half apart. I'm supposed to tell you that. I hope that makes sense. And then you push through the finger side, so you're pushing through, and you hang off your hips like so. And you're really keeping the shoulders free. So although I'm pushing into the earth, I'm not doing this. I'm not having my shoulders up, they're down, and you push through, and you're really hanging off your hips. Now, if their hamstrings are tight or the low back, do this. Do a softening and a bending of the bum back. And then just work on tipping the bum bones up, because that's really nice for the top of the hamstrings. And then again, so here's the straight-legged version. And then you would gaze up, inhale, this is slow. And then exhale the hands to the waist so the chest stays open and you look like a superhero. And then you breathe in and you come all the way back up. And then you come on down to the floor. So feel free to stop the video here unless you need a pep talk. So what I find working with women with menopause is they want answers. They want to know, why do I have a muffin top and I've never had one before? Why did I gain 7 pounds? They're really wondering what's happening with my body. And that's where we're so helpful as healthcare providers to say, okay, remember, estrogen has dropped, estrogen has dropped. And so there's the bone density could be changing, you could lose up to 40 to 60% of your muscle mass. That's why it's so important to do weight training. Yoga can be weight training, it can be resistance training rather, because of planks, downward dogs, handstand, well, that's a bit extreme. It's really important for them to understand that the body's going through a whole changing of the guard. It doesn't have the same information going on inside. And that the last thing that we ever want to consider is, can we keep up what we had? No, you don't want to try to stay where you were. You want to feel alive in your body with what it is now, how your body experiences life now. So I found, and I've confirmed this with many other yoga teachers, that they had to change their practice, become much more gentle. I know I did. And I actually found for a year, I could barely do weight training, which I loved before. I was a competitive bodybuilder and I love weight training. So my body wanted dance, gentle yoga poses, walking. My running went right down. So notice what's happening in the body and listen to it as indicators, like a postcard from a friend saying, you know, this is what I'm doing now. Picture this. Picture gentle yoga poses. Picture deep breathing exercises. So really help women to feel like it's not that their body is being taken away from them, because they might feel like they're in a foreign country with a currency and a language that they don't know. I think that's what it feels like. And so we want to reassure women, yes, you are being evolved, you are being changed, your body's going through adaptations. And please be still in your body. Don't reject it as if it's given up on you and you have to give up on it. These are changes that are needed in order for us to work into a more matriarchal experience of our life, where we are our own agent, rather than perhaps where we were nurturing or taking care of, you know, the children, the parent, or the partner. But this is now our time. And so be really, really, this is the scary word, selfish. Be really selfish and take care of yourself and make sure that you plan to do that. And you have, I highly recommend scheduling your yoga practice before noon, okay? Because the life force will be higher. The bravest time is first thing in the morning, because that's when you're the most crusty. So if you can do that, fantastic, because you'll start your day on an excellent grounded note with much more mobility and a freer neck and shoulders. The other thing I really want to emphasize is poses for sleep. I mentioned that drawing the knee in is really good for sleep, and that twisting one where we draw the knee across the body, that's really good for sleep. Have a really strong sleep hygiene routine so that you're staying away from caffeine. I would recommend no caffeine after 2 o'clock p.m. And also meditation, like just something that's helping you to reorder all the stockpile of thoughts and concerns that you might have collected through the day or the month or the week, so that you have a time where you defrag. So I recommend that when women go to bed, if they could give themselves 10 minutes to kind of have a worry, crazy moment, like just go through the stockpile of index of what might be on their mind so that they clear their mind. And again, encourage women that it's going to be really, again, I can't emphasize it enough, encourage women that it might be really difficult to stay with exercise at this time, and that you've kind of got their back, that still do it. Modify, do what you can, and all I can say is, no matter what, you always feel so much better afterwards. Okay, feel free to email me with any questions that you have about, where's my thing, about doing yoga for menopause and perimenopause. Thanks for joining me, Celeste. Thank you.